Joe Root slumped on his bat, a tripod of self-loathing as the ball, the shot and the moment sunk in. The England captain's default setting is one of natural effervescence, but here, with Nathan Lyon wheeling away in celebration and Australia closing in on the Ashes, the fizz was gone. Lyon had only just come on his first delivery, though the widest the off-spinner has sent down in the match on the surface least suited to him so far this series, was a length ball and not the half-volley Root saw. He wafted, he edged and, via the leg of Tim Paine behind the stumps, Steve Smith gobbled it up like a 420 pie slathered in sauce. And boy did it taste good. Smith was every bit as pleased with himself as during the various milestones of his career, bis 239 in Australia's indomitable first innings, 662 for 9 declared. His players had spoken before the series about targeting the England captain, and though Root had rightly called it out as verbal compost, you strive to get every batsman out, right, the hold they have had over him during this series is inarguable. For Smith's average of 142 so far, Root's is 29.33. There have been 2 centuries of utter match-defining dominance from the Australian, to the Englishman's pair of 50s. The home captain has heavy artillery at his disposal in the field, while the tourist has been largely trying to contain and confound with willing but condition-blunted weaponry in the hope the opposition batsmen blink first. Bar some minor tabloid titillation at Lyon's new love interest, the baggy green camp has been free from off-field drama. England a lurching script of largely self-inflicted distractions. As the series has entered its 3rd chapter, Root has become ever more restless as a batsman. In stark contrast to Smith's apparent zen-like mindset out in the middle, bar Adelaide, when England got into his face with words and into his technique with lateral movement, the Yorkshireman has tried to force the issue. In his side's unfulfilled first innings he tickled Pat Cummins down leg on 20. Second time around, with a score 60 for 2 come the start of the 15th over and 14 to his name, he forgot to take a look at Lyon first. Much of what has been eating Root has been beyond his control and goes back to the absence of Ben Stokes. Though this has been felt both off the field, in terms of extra scrutiny on behaviour, and on it, by way of the all-rounder's talent, his front foot approach and the balance he brings being missing, there has also been the impact of losing his deputy in the dressing room. Ashes Australia close in on series victory over England. Video Stokes was rightly made Root's vice-captain back in February. He is the close friend with whom an ascent through the age groups to the Test team has been shared, and the move to empower the pair in a rising generation, and allow Cook, Jimmy Anderson and Stuart Broad to take more of a backseat and focus on their own personal stellar careers, looked a shrewd one. Without Stokes, and given a squad otherwise made up of followers and those still establishing themselves, Root has turned back to the big 3 for support at a time when they are facing their own battles. Anderson has, in fairness, returned 12 wickets at 25 to hit 50 for the year. But a public gripe with the coaching staff after Adelaide, and his centrality to the Ben Duckett incident, was not exactly what Root needed at 20 down from his newly installed vice-captain. Broad, meanwhile, after a frustrating summer of 11 dropped catches and largely unrewarded efforts in Brisbane and Adelaide the first day notwithstanding, hit a bit of a wall in Perth. His non-for 142 from 35 overs represent his worst Test figures and sat just 4 runs better than Andy Caddick's Ashes low for England at the Oval in 2001. It is 23 months since Broad's last 5-wicket haul, the epic once-ball slaying of South Africa at the Wanderers, and his last 5 Ashes scalps since the famous 8 for 15 at Trent Bridge have cost 72 runs apiece. He and Anderson may have just gone 2 wickets past Curtly Ambrose and Courtney Walsh's 762 from Tests played together to become the all-time seam bowling partnership, but the last 9 of them have all been claimed by the senior man. Cook, victim in the second innings of a ball that stopped in the pitch and produced a wonderful only-handed return catch from Josh Hazlewood, has seen his 150th Test become one of 7 and 14 runs, making it 83 for the series at 13.83 and prompting the latest round of speculation as to his longevity, by the huge cast of Australian commentators in particular. These were brushed off before the match, with Cook rightly pointing out that only he knows how he feels beyond an obvious loss of form. He will battle on, no doubt providing an understanding ear for Root after going through the mill in the role himself 4 years ago. But what the captain needs most from the senior players, himself included, is performances and fast.